Okay, the new business item today, as you can see, we've got a packed room. We've got an update on youth programs, including internal initiatives and external partnerships. This is a item brought by me, and so really what I wanted to do was just kind of get a full-scale update of everything we've got going youth-related. It happens in multiple administrations and multiple departments, and so I'm very appreciative of everybody being here this morning. Thank you so much. I know it's an early morning because we've got a busy committee day, but just very thankful not only for you all being here and sharing what's going on and what we're doing in the city, but for all the work that you're doing. I wanted to say it now because God knows I'll forget because it is 8 o'clock in the morning. And so just very thankful for all of the departments that are helping our youth and all the work that you're doing. And so just a heartfelt thank you from me this morning, and looking forward to continuing the work. And so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Brown, and who's going to kick us off. Dr. Brown, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, council members, committee. I'm here, as you said, this morning to kick off what is really a continued conversation from when I presented to you all back on September 4th. What you'll see on the slides, we're going to have to restart. So if you can recall, what was shared was the strategic focus areas, and there are 8 of them. And what I shared specifically was the work as it relates to what's coming from the Division of Education and Youth Opportunities. And if you can recall, I also shared that when the strategic focus areas were created, the entirety of the work throughout the city was considered. Also during that time, I talked about the whole child framework and the fact that that is an evidence-based, research-based model that encapsulates what are best practices in developing youth from birth to young adulthood. So within whole child, we can move on now to the next one. Okay, thank you. There we go. Within whole child, what happens, or what are the considerations, what the elements are academic development, cognitive development, identity development, interpersonal, mental, physical, and social, emotional. So if we did a deep dive into every initiative that I presented on September 4th, you would find that those elements are within. I also shared that on the City of Education page on the city's site, our programs throughout the city, not just from Education and Youth Opportunities, are identified by these elements. We're being purposeful, intentional, and strategic. So with that, as you hear my colleagues speak for the rest of the time that we're here this morning, their programs also fit within the 8 strategic focus areas, and their programs also address the developmental areas in the whole child framework. And so that is the framing from which we're starting this morning. And as you listen, as you listen to them present on their work from their departments, you can hear the elements from the whole child framework and the strategic focus areas embedded within the work. Again, strategic, focused, purposeful, and intentional. So with that, I will turn the mic over to Mike.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Mike Jeffries, Community Enrichment Administrator, and it is a pleasure.
You guys always have gifts.
It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. I promise to keep my section under 2 hours, so we'll kick it off.
Bob just had a heart attack.
Right. Anytime that we're able to talk about the great work that we're doing, it's an exciting time, and today is an especially exciting day for us because we start the day off talking about all of the youth opportunities that we have, and then we get to let the community and let council know that we are being reaccredited by the CAPRA agency this afternoon at the council meeting. So it's really it's an exciting day, and I think that it's really telling that it's happening all on the same day. And then tomorrow as we talk about what we're doing for our youth and our community, we get to cut the ribbon on a brand new portion of a park in Harbordale. So we really have a lot going on this week, and it's very, very exciting. So we'll jump right in. As Dr. Brown indicated, this really, this turned out to be a challenging assignment. Not because we didn't have enough to talk about, but because we had too much to talk about. And it's where do you draw the line and where do we kind of hit that sweet spot? And so as we got together and we chatted with all of the administrators and Dr. Brown and the chiefs that are here in the room, it really became very, very obvious that youth opportunities, youth development, and education is really baked into everything that this city does. And so it's more than just one department. It's bigger than something that any one of us can sit up here and talk about. So as you see behind me, we have both chiefs. We have almost every administrator. I think Claude's the only one that got off the hook on this assignment.
Noted.
Well, but I'm sure he's got it. I'm sure he's got youth opportunities somewhere. We just probably overlooked him in trying to get this prepared. But long story short, we really started to figure out that as a municipality, as an organization, we don't always take credit for all of the youth opportunities that we're offering. And I think that's what's really great about what we're going to be talking about today. We really have kind of taken a comprehensive look at where all of the opportunities are. And we actually, as Rick and our team put this together, we were really pleasantly surprised at the dollar amount, at the investment that the city, that Mayor Welch and that council really is pushing forward to move the needle when it comes to youth opportunities. And that's one of the things that I did want to open with. As we started to look at initiatives that have been in place for many, many years, and then we started to look at initiatives that this council and Mayor Welch have really pushed forward, there are a lot of really new, neat, exciting initiatives that also are giving us the deliverables and are moving the needle in a really prescribed method, which I think is critical. Here with me, I've got Rick Kraft, who's our assistant director over the recreation side of the house, and then behind him we have Beth Lindsay, who is our libraries director, and we have we've got Rob Lovelace, who's the manager over the recreation centers. And then we have Lynn Gordon, will probably be joining us soon. And we have Taylor Thornton, who is the manager over environmental areas, which would include Boyd Hill. So we've got all the different youth activities that are there. So as we jump into our first slide, as we really started to decide how we were going to communicate everything that we do for youth, we decided to take a kind of a linear approach. And so what we came up with was an age range that really starts with preschool and goes all the way through young adult. And as we're defining young adult, and we know that there's different definitions that float around, but we really went to age 24 because for us, that seemed to make the most sense with kind of what our community is demanding and what we're hearing from council as to how we need to do youth employment and really kind of hit the mark on some of those. So as you hear everything that we're going over this morning, keep in mind that we're going from preschool to young adult. As we start talking about the preschool components, there are many, many components that fit in. We did talk about including libraries, so we've got our literacy programs that are involved and included as well. Again, I mentioned this earlier, and we'll talk more about it this afternoon, but when it comes to measured success and it comes to really proving that we're being as efficient and effective as possible, we really leaned on our CAPRA standards. And we'll talk more about that this afternoon. I won't spend a ton of time now, but I think it's important that we know that each dollar that we're spending towards youth improvement, youth opportunities, youth education, that we're measuring that as well. And so that's really what the CAPRA umbrella is all about. It's best practices, it's making sure that we're doing what we said we're going to do, and it's having an external party come in and kind of audit that process and all of our programs. Rick did pass out a couple of documents. One of the documents that we have before you is the listing of all of the camps, or all the programs that we offer in Parks and Recreation and in libraries. And so this document isn't a new document. This is a document that we have worked on for our inventory for our CAPRA standards as well. So when you look at all of the offerings, we need to show that we've got all different ages covered, that we have all different demographics covered, and that we really are offering something for everyone. And that's what this list is about. This is also the list that Administrator Foster and I worked on with a committee several years back to kind of put together where's the baseline? What is it that we're doing, and where does that exist in all the different departments? So you have that in front of you. I won't spend a ton of time on that, but I thought that it was important that you have sort of the offerings that we have in both Parks and Recreation and in libraries. So when we started to look at the budgets for the different programs that we offer, we have really struggled with this, and it's something that the industry struggles with. So you have a rec center, you have Boyd Hill, you have facilities that we are funding. How do you really decide how much of that is used towards youth programming? And so we have, many years ago, we adopted kind of a national best practice where you look at your facility budgets in thirds. So the first third would be for your elementary, so preschool, elementary would be your first third. Your second would be middle school and high school. And then the last third would be kind of the adult and community-facing community impact. So we calculated the programmatic budgets at 11 recreation centers, TASCO, and then TR, our therapeutic program. And we are sitting at over $11 million in what we are budgeting strictly for youth opportunities and programmings at the rec centers. And again, we'll talk more about that as we move through, but we really thought that was important to kind of level set with that. That's a number that we don't frequently talk about. That's a number that you know, is left off the table frequently when we're talking about programs and different offerings, especially when we start talking to different organizations that are coming in and making presentations to council and sharing ideas. I think it's important that you know that this is really the baseline of what council and the mayor are supporting as far as the facilities that we have. And again, my plan is to do questions at the end. If you guys have questions that are pressing, you need to jump in, let me know. Happy to be flexible with that. Another key component that we wanted to talk about is outreach. So we've had some different discussions at some different meetings where we've had some different external groups offer suggestions on how to do outreach. I thought it was important to really share with each of you the outreach that we're currently doing and the outreach that we've been doing. And I think that as we get further down through the presentation, you'll see that we, our numbers indicate that we are connecting with the community in a successful way. A couple different things that are baked into our programs. Each of our rec centers, our supervisors, our teen supervisors, they are active in several Pinellas County school programs, including PTAs, SACs. The other thing that we do is we frequently participate in different school events. We have gone door to door, and we've done door hangers door to door, especially if we're in, if we have a facility that is underutilized, has capacity, which I can tell you right now, we don't have that scenario at our facilities. But in the past, when we've had that, we have gone door to door. I think most of you have probably experienced this during your campaign seasons. The door-to-door is not as successful as it once was. We find that if you're knocking on doors, it's very frequent that folks don't open the door. They don't want to talk to somebody that's standing there. So we find that it's more successful to have tables at events like Councilmember Givens did at some of our rec centers. We had tables that were there, and each of you have given us opportunities to present the offerings of the department and really connect with the community that is seeking information. So we make sure that we have information at trunk or treats, we have information at fall festivals, we have tables at some of the special events that are in the parks. So we really make sure that we are getting the word out there and making sure that we've gotten the information to the community. We also have social media. We work very diligently. We have a social media staff member who keeps the social media websites up to date and really keeps it live, which I think is what this segment of the community is really looking for. We also work very closely with our neighborhood associations, which I think is important as well. Again, we frequently provide information to the neighborhood associations, and they include our information in the flyers. We find that being a very successful method of getting the word out. I'll jump into some of the programmatic components because the time is running. Rick's got a clock running here on me. So when it comes to preschool, a couple different things that we wanted to chat a little bit about when it comes to preschool. We really subscribe to a play-based enrichment when it comes to our preschool programs. We have Learn to Swim programs, and that starts as young as 6 months, which you all have heard me talk about swim lessons and how important those are. We really, when it comes to preschool, there are several key focuses, and really it boils down to 3: school readiness, early learning, and family engagement. That's really how we define kind of that preschool model. Again, we talked about the play-based enrichment. We also have toddler time, family story time, bounce into books, which encourages the early literacy and parent involvement from the libraries as well. In golf courses, we do have First Tee, which we'll talk a bit about that as we kind of move through. But the First Tee really does plug into the different age groups as well as we go through. Elementary school, this is a big area for us. The focus is academic support, recreation, and creative enrichment. We have before school, we also have summer camps. And again, the numbers here I want to share with you. I think they're quite impressive. When it comes to before school, we are seeing an increase in our numbers, a significant increase. What we like to do is we like to look at the 2019 numbers, which are kind of the pre-COVID scenario, and then we look at where we're at right now. So when it comes to after school, and I'm not going to go through each one of the numbers because there's a lot, but I'll just go to the ones that are kind of impressive and that you need to be aware of. In 2019, we served just over 1,000 in our after-school programs. In 2025, I'm happy to report that we're close to 1,300 that we're serving at the facilities. This is a huge number when we get to summer camps. In 2019, we were serving just over 1,800 participants. And again, this is just elementary. This is not middle. This is not TASCO. This is just our elementary program. In 2019, we were just over 1,800. In 2025, we're over 1,900 that we're serving in our summer play camp programs. Again, I'll touch on the summer food, summer breakfast. I won't spend a ton of time on that because I just did a good news article or item at council. But happy to report that through our partnership with the state of Florida, USDA, that we serve over 200,000 after-school snacks, that we do over 40,000 summer breakfasts and almost 58,000 summer lunches, and those are to children under the age of 18, and that was what we served in 2024, obviously. Our aquatics division, again, Brandy is not here. She's on vacation. We let her have some time off. And she really is moving the needle when it comes to swim lessons. And I think it's important that we talk about those numbers as well. When we talk about swim lessons, each of you know that we have a free swim lesson to anyone who comes into one of our pools. We also have a lot of scholarships as we get to kind of the funding scenarios towards the end. We'll share some of that. But all in all, we serve during our fall, our spring, and our summer. We're over 4,000 swim lessons that we're serving each year to the kids here in St. Pete. When it comes to libraries, there are several programs that we have. Beth has Young Explorers, Builders and Bricks. We have STEM learning. Again, you guys are well aware of what we're offering out of Obama. We have the Creative Lab that's there, and lots of great opportunities when it comes to STEM and STEAM out at the library. Again, First Tee, we have group lessons for elementary age, and that really teaches more than just the skill of golf. It teaches citizenship, it teaches respect, it teaches how to be engaged in a community, and that all happens through the First Tee program, which is absolutely fantastic. Middle school, this is grades 6 through 8. In middle school, we really have taken a unique approach. We partner with the Juvenile Welfare Board. We've got numbers that we'll get to here shortly with their support. But we have made a decision with council support and the mayor's support to offer all of our programs for middle schoolers are absolutely free of cost. We did not want a parent, a family to decide that any dollar amount was too much to have a middle schooler participate in one of our programs. So each and every one of our programs for middle school is free. And I think that's really important. And that's the TASCO center-based. In your packet, you have the report card, if you will, for 2024 and for 23. And we can talk more about that as we get closer to the Juvenile Welfare Board component. But I think it's important that you see what an external auditor, if you will, is saying about our programs. It's one thing for us to tell you that we're doing a great job. It's another thing for us to show you kind of the report card that they give us. As we move forward with the middle school, I think the numbers are quite impressive here as well. We offer before school, after school. We have almost 1,000 middle schoolers that are in our camps each year, and we've maintained kind of a steady number there. One of the challenges that we get into with middle school is that there are a lot of offerings in the community, especially when it comes to sports, youth sports, and that sort of thing. So we kind of we see some folks that were in our elementary programs, they kind of drop off in middle school at times and go and do a specialty swim camp or tennis camp or whatever the case may be, football, whatever it may be. TASCO, the TASCO program, you guys are very well aware of the different offerings. We have digital media classes, sports leagues, youth leadership workshops, and then we do the citywide events, which is the TASCO citywide. So there's two veins for TASCO. I do think it's important that we remind the community what TASCO stands for, and that stands for Teens, Arts, Sports, and Cultural Opportunities. And again, we learned many, many years ago that each child connects differently with the community in which they live. And that's really what TASCO is designed to help connect with. So we've got kids who are, they're into sports. We have kids who are more focused on academics. We have kids that are focused on arts. And then we have kids that are really kind of looking for different opportunities. And that's why we offer website design, DJ services that kids can learn how to do. So we really are looking for something for everyone. In the TASCO, one of the things that we really do enjoy spending a lot of time with is that intergenerational, where we connect with different age groups. And we find that if we're taking the teens and we're connecting with the seniors, we find that both really, really benefit. Quickly, I'll mention the Mayor's Youth Congress. Each one of our TASCO center-based programs has a teen council. We take the kids that are most interested in politics. Not sure why anybody would be interested in politics, but we take those kids.
We're not sure either.
I figured. We take those kids, we take 2 from each center, and that really is the group that forms the Mayor's Youth Congress. And they get to meet with the mayor. They share budget ideas and concerns and thoughts. So we really, when we are bringing the budget to council, it really has been informed and it's been shaped by all ages in our community because, let's face it, our teens are citizens as well. When it comes to sports, we engage with roughly 5,500 youth annually with our youth sports programs. Each of you are very engaged. I'm looking around the table with youth sports. My goodness, we've got referees, we've got coaches, we've got it all sitting here at the table. So won't spend a ton of time there. But when you look at the 20 city-sponsored youth sports organizations that we work with, we really reach a significant number of kids with youth sports. When it comes to libraries, we have the teen scene, creative tech programs. Those really help in building that confidence and that academic exploration as well. Running out of time, so I'll move forward. But when it comes to high school, this is something that I really wanted to spend some time on because this is something that's left unsaid at times, and I think that it's important. When we start talking about high school, we do find that many of our kids here in the city are looking for part-time jobs. They're engaged in high school sports. So we start to see less involvement with some of our programs. But here's where it gets unique. And this is something that I think is something we should all be really, really excited about. When we talk about, and remember I said to age 24, but when we look at the number of kids in that age group, the high school to 24 age group that we're hiring, we spend in Parks and Rec alone $5.9 million to hire those employees, and we pay for them out of the general fund. 39% of my workforce in Parks and Recreation is 24 and under. And I think that's really, really important to talk about. We have 219 that are year-round. We have 155 that are seasonal. That gets us to 374 young adults that are under the age of 24. Now, some of those are as young as 15 as our rec attendants that are working kind of as a junior leader, if you will, helping the coach at a rec center. And then again, we have folks that are lifeguards. We hire lifeguards at age 16, and they can work for us after school at North Shore, at McLean, at Walter Fuller, or they can work for us during the summer as well. But that's a number that I think that we don't talk about. When we talk about youth employment, we talk about opportunities. That's a huge opportunity. And we all know that many of our employees, I think some of the other administrators are a little jealous. I have a built-in pipeline. The kids started in elementary, some in preschool. They come all the way through. They go through TASCO. Then they do a junior leader program, and then we hire them. And then we hire them as they're looking for full-time work. And then I've got staff that are retiring that have been in our program from the time that they were in elementary school. So we definitely have that built-in pipeline. A couple different things, and I will turn it over to I believe Chief Holloway. But we've got some different programs that are in high school as well. We also hire 15 bully interns that work after school for us, and then we do 30 for the youth intern program. And I know Administrator Corbett's going to speak more about that. I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't talk about the youth farm, the St. Pete Youth Farm. I know that Carla and her program is a favorite of all four of you and the rest of the council as well. But we have 17 youth, and again, that's 17 at one time, and we see kids kind of come and go through that program. So that's an amazing opportunity. Carla's teaching leadership, mental health. You all know everything that she has going on over there as well. A couple different things that I wanted to chat about when it comes to the high school. We do have high school sports leagues. Something new that Mayor Welch has asked us to come up with, and we are happy to announce. I think this is the first time that we're announcing it. Mm-hmm. We may have it on social media, but this is our first time that we're announcing it to the community. We're trying something new. It's called Friday Night Flex. And what we're going to do basically is we're having open gyms, and we'll have 2 to 3 open gyms every Friday night from 6 to 9. And basically it can be used for basketball, it can be used for volleyball, no charge whatsoever. We're making sure that we have those programs geographically spread out through the city. So the first Friday night would be potentially TJJ and Fossil Park. And then the second Friday night of the month would be Walter Fuller and Childs Park. And so we're kind of rotating through so that each area, each child would have access to a rec center that would be open for open gym. And we were able to work that into Rob Lovelace's budget as far as the staff that we have. So we really aren't even going to come and ask for more money for that program. That's something that's going to go year round. So we're really excited about that. When it comes to libraries, we have the advisory boards, college prep, academic resources, volunteer opportunities. And again, when it comes to golf courses, that's really when we start to see some of our future employees that start to work for the golf courses and move through that process. All right, a couple things I want to hit in closing, and then I'll ask Rick if I missed anything, if you want to change. There we go. So this is a slide that I think provides some of the financial data that you were asking for. Some of our partners that we work with ELC. I know you're familiar with ELC, but for those that are watching, ELC is a school readiness program that offers financial assistance to families that are low income so that they can attend after school and summer programs. This program is something that we refer folks to on the regular. We're constantly sending people to ELC. As you can see in 25, we had $1.2 million of support coming in from ELC for that child care. Juvenile Welfare Board, fantastic partnership we have with JWB. They have been absolutely amazing. You have the report card in front of you. FY26, we're just over 3.7, and again, that funds the TASCO programs, including that middle school program that we talked about. When we look at the Florida Department of Health, another great partnership. That is the after-school snack program. Over $260,000 comes in to help feed our children during the school year. And then almost $450,000 for the summer breakfast and lunch program. And we've had those programs for years and years, and they're hugely successful. A couple of other partnerships that we wanted to mention. We have partnerships when it comes to swim lessons, the Rays, the Lakewood Civic Association, John Hopkins, American Red Cross, and Bay Care Kids. We have about $32,000 coming in sponsorships for swim lessons. So we've got money that's coming in and is available as people might need it to participate in our programs. One other thing that I will mention when it comes to fees that I think that we don't talk about a lot. We've got these programs, we've got ELC, we've got the Juvenile Welfare Board, which provides the free middle school program. But one of the things that we do here in the city of St. Pete, and we've been doing it for years, is we subsidize our child care through fee assistance. And what we do is we match the, if a child is on free or reduced lunch, we charge a different rate when it comes to our program fees and our swim lessons. So again, we go through, we use the validation that the school board is using. We then take that certification letter and we charge them. If you're on reduced lunch, you only pay 85% of our fees. If you're on free, then you only pay 35% of our fees. And I will tell you that our fees are frustrating to some child care providers because our fees are already on the lower end of things. And then when you start to talk about only 85% of that if you're on reduced, 35% of that if you're on free, it makes our costs very, very, very reasonable. So again, we have scholarship funds that are available. We have a lot of groups that help. The Night Riders come to mind. There's a lot of groups that help us in therapeutics that will raise money for us, and then we're able to kind of quietly work with families that might be in need to make sure that any kid that wants to be in our program is able to be in our program. Rick, what did I miss?
Didn't miss anything.
He has to say that. So that's all that I have. I will answer any questions, or are we gonna do that at the end, or do you do that each section?
Yeah, let's do each section. Committee members, any questions for Mike or Rick? Vice Chair Givens.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Dr. Brown. I know you presented as well. I do want to start with money. So funding, since we ended with that, are we in need? I know there's a number of children in the community who could use the services that we provide and the programs. They could benefit from them greatly. But do you feel, Mike, that you're in a comfortable position right now with Parks and Rec to be able to accommodate the need?
I do. And I feel like, the need is always going to be greater than the resources. So we know that. But I also realize that childcare is a multifaceted topic where I think the city should be doing their portion, which we are. And then I think there's room for other organizations and other opportunities to kind of pick up some of those voids. So when I look at capacity, we are mostly at capacity when it comes to our facilities. So even if I were to tell you I need more resources, I don't have the facilities to do that. I think the Y is a factor. I think our club is a factor. I think the faith-based programs. But I think it's important that we meaningfully participate in this topic, which we clearly are. Absolutely are. Our numbers are some of the largest numbers, both financially and participation based, of any other organization in St. Petersburg. One thing that I will share with the group, because I think this is important, and a lot of us who are born and raised here in St. Pete or have been in St. Pete for a while may forget this, but we are one of the few municipal programs that offers licensed childcare. And so I think that's hugely important because we could just roll out a TV with a video on it, but that's not what we do. We're held to a higher standard. We are held to a standard that, and Councilmember Givens, you know this, and Fix Sanders, you know this with your involvement in the Y and childcare. It's important to have quality childcare that really kind of bridges the gap, especially during summer, but also during the school year as well. I didn't even talk about the tutoring services we have going on. I didn't even talk about our connection with the teachers. We hire teachers to kind of bridge that gap. But again, to get back to your question, yes, I think that we feel as if we're participating in that sweet spot as to where we should be.
Thank you for that. Now, speaking about capacity, have we looked at that? Have we had the conversation about facilities and how we can?
Absolutely. That's really what drives our CIP. So when we meet with council and go over our CIP 5-year plan, when we look at the penny funding that we have, you know, I'll talk about the two newest facilities that we have. Shore Acres Recreation Center, the capacity increased because we had outgrown the building that we had currently used. I'll talk about the Obama Library. We knew that we needed capacity for tutoring and we needed capacity for the small breakout groups, and that was exactly what informed the builds for both of those facilities. But absolutely, yes, that's really what weighs heavily on our staff to make sure that we're looking at the horizon, kind of looking at that crystal ball. What is the need going to be in the future? And that's what drives our CIP.
And I'll just add, that's also what's in the discussion for the Enoch Davis Center.
Yes.
That's exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about Enoch Davis right now.
And that's great because one of the things that I've noticed with the library, it's really become almost a child care facility.
Yes.
I mean, there are a number of kids, I've spoken to parents who say, yeah, I send my kids to the, you know, the library when I need a break. And that's not what the library is designed for. But as you talked about capacity, making sure we can accommodate the number of kids who do come in there,
Right.
I think that is a great opportunity for us to do so with our redevelopment there.
I'm glad Rick mentioned that. That's absolutely, Mayor is just drilling that into us, is making sure that we are state-of-the-art, technology-based, and have the capacity. So that's extremely important to him and extremely important to us. I know it's important to each of you.
Thank you, and I want to try to be as brief as possible. So speaking of technology in our libraries, can we talk about the technology components and the programs that we offer for our youth there?
Yes, absolutely. So I'll invite Beth to the table, but I'll chat a little bit about the libraries and the technology that we currently have in place. So we've got public computers, we've got computer labs. I think each of you have walked Obama and you've seen the state-of-the-art technology there. We really kind of lead the pack when it comes to the county and the library services that we offer. I'll let you jump in and anything that I missed.
That's what I was just trying to think of what you might have missed.
We do know that the libraries are being used differently nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of the things that Beth and her team are working on would be that free Wi-Fi component. We talk about digital divide quite a bit. We really want to have that service available so that folks, and it is available now, folks can come in, jump on our Wi-Fi. They can, you know, apply for a small business loan. They can, after a disaster, which again is part of the Obama library plan. It's really designed to be that hub for post-disaster. And as Rick mentioned, Enoch, that's the mayor's vision on that as well. That really kind of becomes the ground zero for recovery based on the technology components. One of the things that we are looking to do when it comes to libraries, we're looking to add devices that can be checked out that will go on the Wi-Fi as well. I think most of you know that we have digital hotspots that can be checked out as well and taken home that can be used for homework. It can be used for small business incubation, that sort of thing. So lots of moving pieces. We're disappointed about the digital inclusion grant that the city is not going to get. But Beth is being very creative about making sure that the money that she does have goes as far as it possibly can.
One of the things we did add, it's been a couple of years, but we have the basic computers that we have for people that come in and use, you know, with Microsoft and all that on it. But we also have added some higher end computers that have Adobe on it that people can come in and utilize at the library as well. So that's been appreciated. And we have some of those for the teens as well.
That's good. Now, do we offer, is there a place, say a resident needed assistance with coming up with a resume, creating a resume or filling out job applications? Is there someone in the libraries that's dedicated to provide those services if they needed that and provide technical computer literacy skills training?
All of our staff are able to assist people getting started with things like that, but then we also offer one-on-one assistance with computers that you can make an appointment and come in at a specific time and you'll have a dedicated library staff member working with you. We also offer classes on different things as well for groups, so kind of cover that in a variety of ways.
That's awesome. Now, coding is a big thing. I think I spoke to someone at the Obama Library. There is a course offered
Yes.
there, but is that offered at all libraries or just that one?
We've done a couple of girls coding programs at the Johnson Community Library. That the organization that we were working with, that hasn't been able to continue at this point, but at this time, really the main place we offer it is Obama. That's not to say that it can't happen at other libraries as well.
And I'll make a public, cry that if there's an organization that wants to work with us, Parks and Recreation and St. Pete Libraries will work with any organization that really wants to partner with us and amplify their message and move that forward. But just as Beth said, we may not have staff that are hip on coding, but we're happy to connect those dots and give an organization a venue to offer that service.
Well, CodeBox is a great organization. I recommend that you all check them out, just right over in the Thrive building behind us. And
Absolutely.
they are doing great work. Brian and Aaron, they are really looking for ways that they can connect with the community. So I know he has reached out to administration if there's a way that we could possibly follow up with them to figure out how we can help these kids. I mean, I think that is a really great area in a career field where, kids can really take off and make a lot of money.
Absolutely agree.
Also, I want to talk about the teen council, the Mayor's Youth Congress. How can council engage with these young people? I've had youth that have approached me at neighborhood association meetings to say, hey, I'm interested in getting involved too. I don't know why, to your point, but they want to get involved. But I don't know how to recommend them to join this organization.
Absolutely. So I think the best bet is to, if somebody, a teen approaches you or a parent approaches you, is to have that child connect with their local rec center and the teen council that's at their local rec center. And that will really start the way. We work with the League of Cities. As a matter of fact, just last week, our council was with the League of Cities, Florida League of Cities, learning how bills move and how to get things on the floor and all that good stuff. The other thing is that, we also bring the Mayor's Youth Council. In the past, we've brought them to council meetings. I will tell you that whoever the chair is at the time, we'd like to work with that individual. And nobody here was ever chair, but we had some scenarios where the council didn't get recognized early in the meeting, and we waited a really long time, and it turned out to be less positive than we wanted it to be. I know that wouldn't happen with this group, but that's something that we could definitely talk about as we move and look towards the future.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then for the sake of time, I just want to close with youth employment. So I love the youth farm and what Carla Bristol's doing over there. Want to figure out how we can expand that program. I would love to see it at rec centers, West St. Pete, North St. Pete. If we can duplicate that effort, I would love to make it happen. Have we discussed that? Is there funding for that? Is there an opportunity for us to possibly collaborate with other partners in the community to find the funds if we don't have
So we will definitely, as we said, we'll collaborate with anyone. But I think that as we look at what Carla has, she's got the secret sauce out there. And what I would tell you is that the secret recipe for pesto, I guess, is what she really has out there, if we know Carla.
It's good.
But each rec center is sort of doing the same thing in a different vein. And so while I'd be happy to work with an organization if they are into farming or entrepreneurship or whatever it may be, I think that, when we look at the $5.9 million that we're spending on youth employment really under age 24, I think we have that going on now. We've got the rec attendants that are working for us and then get the full-time jobs as the summer rolls in. And so I think we have that. It may not look exactly like the youth farm, but I don't know that it necessarily needs to. But happy to have future conversations with you on that.
I want to add that 3.9 million is a total of 374 positions. So 374 positions in our department are under 24 that we hire annually, which is a huge number in our department.
5.9, right? 5.9?
5.9, yes.
5.9. Yeah.
5.9
I just looked at my number. I'm like, did I say it wrong?
Subtracted you there.
I know. He took $2 million off.
I added 374 kids.
Yeah.
I have that. He said that earlier.
You can work with me and Tom. Right?
Yeah. Where's the cut the mic button? That's what I
And then lastly, Mike, I just want to talk for a moment about TASCO again. So there's a young lady in the community, Maya Stevenson. She has an organization called Afro Opera. and she is passionate about teaching youth performing arts, not just opera, but all sorts of performing arts and cultural arts for
Love
big
it.
things. And she wants to know how she can get connected to the city and our Parks and Recs department, our after-school care programs. I would love to, again, expand the TASCO program to include more than just, you know, like you said, academics and athletics. If we can include that performing arts component as well, including Maya, would be a great idea.
Let's do it. I think if the three of us, you and me and her, get together, have coffee, let's talk about it. I absolutely love that idea. I think Alex Harris, you're going to hear about, you know, our partnership with Alex Harris. That was one of the examples that really Alex filled a void that we had at that point. And it sounds like if she's doing opera, that fills another void, which is super exciting. The Alex Harris component is really interesting because I think as administrators got together and we started talking about what we have going on, we're all working with Alex, and it's one of those things where I think you can sometimes forget who's doing what, and it's interesting when you sit down and kind of look at this exercise, which is really a healthy exercise. It showed us that we really overlap in a lot of areas. But to get back to your point, I'd love to sit down with you and her and chat about how we can connect.
I would love that. And I just want to say shout out to the whole team for Friday Night Flex. You know, that was something that I was asking you for, Mike, and I'm so glad that you all made it happen. So thank you, Ro. Appreciate
We're
it.
excited. Thank you.
Any other committee members? Thank you. Councilmember Harding.
Thank you, Chair. Mike, congratulations. We're going to do some cool stuff at council meeting today with an award, but that'll be largely ceremonial. Can you take a minute or two and just explain what the background of that is and how it is that we qualified, or what's in that bucket that got us to that level?
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you asked. This way I don't get yelled at for taking too much time. You caused this. So. But accreditation. So when it comes to best practices and it comes to standards that really prove that we're operating as efficiently and as effectively as possible, let's face it, we're using taxpayer dollars to do all of the different programs that we just talked to you about. It is absolutely critical that we do it right, we do it well, and that it's not Mike Jeffrey's opinion on how we do it, but it's here's the national standard of how we do it. There are 155 standards in the CAPRA accreditation self-assessment. What we do basically is we go through each assessment. There are 10 sections, all the way from, the first one is authority, what the jurisdiction, how are you incorporated, all the way to the number 10, which is qualitative and quantitative assessments of our programs. We have to prove to CAPRA that we are evaluating our programs. And everything in between. There's a chapter on safety, land management, HR, programs, every topic is covered. I mean, the document is huge. I've sent it to many of you. And what we do is every 5 years, we have to go through those standards, and they change. They are not stagnant. They change because obviously technology changes and trends change, and best practices change. And we go through, we have to prove and provide evidence that shows that we meet each one of those 155 standards. We then submit that to the CAPRA board. A CAPRA committee is put together of folks that do not live in the state. So it can't be my buddy that lives in Tallahassee or, the Parks and Rec guy over in Miami evaluates St. Pete. It doesn't work like that. It's got to be somebody outside of the state. We all have to sign documents indicating that we don't have a conflict of interest, that we don't know each other, that we haven't worked with each other. And this group will evaluate all of our responses to those standards, looks at every piece of our evidence, and then decides if we are worthy of a on-site visit. They then come into the city and they spend 3 days with us. They interview staff. They meet with you guys. I know many of you met with our CAPRA team the last time they were just here. And they basically go through and they evaluate and they make sure that we're doing what we said we're doing. They will go out and they will talk to our frontline staff and ask the frontline staff, hey, do you have any idea where the mission statement might be located? And do you know what the mission statement says? I mean, they really get into the weeds. I'm happy to report that, again, we met 100% of the standards that CAPRA has in that handbook, which is really highly unusual. I've shared with you, Councilmember Harding, that I'm an auditor as well for CAPRA. I go into other states and audit departments. I do it because I get to cherry pick some of the best programs, so I'll see what the other departments are doing. I'm like, hey, we need to emulate this and bring it back. But basically, we go in, we audit, and we then report back to the national board. And if they agree with the findings, then we are allowed to use the CAPRA seal, and we're allowed to celebrate that we are a CAPRA certified agency. It's estimated that there are about 25,000 Parks and Rec departments in the country, and there are a very small number of folks that take the time, take the investment, and really work hard to go through the CAPRA accreditation process. And this is this is what we call reaccreditation. This is our third reaccreditation.
Yeah.
So every 5 years we have to go through that. And the guys behind me are probably rolling their eyes because each one of them was a section lead, and CAPRA has become a four-letter word in our department. So CAPRA really needs to be part of your DNA. It can't just be something that you do every 5 years. It has to be part of your culture, and that's something they really come and look at, and that's something that we have passed with flying colors.
Big congrats, Mike. That is it is not just reaching that level. It's the culture of being willing to be involved. I would imagine that the climb is, although painful, more beneficial than the view.
It really is.
And I couldn't say enough good things about the efforts that have been put forth.
Thank you.
And we'll receive an award today, or you'll receive an award today, your team will receive an award today, and it's well justified, but I would imagine that the work on the next one's already started.
It has.
So, yeah, I saw that, the looks, but yeah.
Yeah.
Never ending.
Clearly. But thank you very much.
And I appreciate those words, but what I'll say this afternoon, and I'll say it here as well, the award belongs to mayor and belongs to council as well. Because I work with communities that are not supported by their elected officials, and it's a nightmare. You can have an amazing Parks and Rec department, you can have amazing staff, but if they're not supported by the elected officials, there are real problems, and that's something that we've not been faced with here in St. Pete. So the award is ours, all of ours.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Fix Sanders, any questions? Okay. Just quickly, thank you for the report. It was super helpful and exactly what I was looking for. And so I don't have any questions. Frankly, just a couple of shout outs. Thank you so much. We absolutely need to celebrate $5.9 million and 374 positions. Like, we need to be talking about that all the time. And so, like, even if that was the only thing that was said, amazingly impactful.
We were surprised by it when we
Yeah.
crunched the numbers as well. It's like, why are we not talking about that?
Yeah, we have to be looking at that annually. Yeah, that's an amazing number, and just so thankful that came out of it. Thank you for the in-depth look. I took a ton of notes. The other really thing I wanted to talk about, just very quickly, and Councilmember Givens, Vice Chair Givens brought it up. Very excited about Friday Night Flex. When I was on the board at PAL, open gym was a game changer. It was a game changer when we did that and opened the gym and just let kids come in, do what they want to do, play ball, play volleyball, foursquare, whatever it was, right?
Excited.
I mean, I was the nerd that liked to play foursquare. And so, because I wasn't any good at basketball. And so, but I thought it was such a big deal when I went to an open gym at PAL and saw the kids come in with no pressure and they just wanted to be there on a Friday night. I'm so happy we're doing that.
We are too.
I really think that's going to be super impactful, and just so thankful for making that happen and finding it within the budget to be able to do it, and just, I could talk about it for the next 5 minutes, so I'm going to stop, but I'm super excited about that. So thank you so much for doing that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the update. This is awesome. And if there is a kid that needs a swim lesson, I'm in. So-
Just like your dad.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to Chief Holloway. Oh, Megan, welcome. How are you? Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us here.
I'm on
Eric.
the east side, Chief.
It's okay. Get your passport.
I got my. They stamped it on the way in.
I'd like to thank the chair and council for inviting us here this morning. And I'm glad I followed behind Mike Jeffries because we know everything starts with Parks and Rec, so we got started off the right way.
We forgot that.
So what we're going to do really is go over what we have for the police department, Next slides.
Oh, we can just move the keyboard down. Yeah.
Look at me, take control here.
One more.
Oh.
Yeah.
One more for Parks and Rec.
Children. Uh-huh.
So this morning I have here Assistant Director Megan McGee. And we're going to go over, really show you how much money was spent toward the kids and then other programs we have in place. This program was started last October 1, and that was due to Mayor Welch. As you remember, he started the program. We had some money left over, so we had a grant that he put out. All the directors applied for this, and then we had the citizens to vote on it, and the citizens picked the police department program. And Megan McGee is going to talk more about that with Forward Together. So besides this $2.4 million, we just now finished our asset forfeiture fund. Within the next 2 to 3 months, we're going to give out another $200,000 for people that are not aware of the asset forfeiture fund. Those are the money that we seize throughout the year for people who are arrested for any type of drugs, any type of felony. We can seize their property. We take that property and we turn around and give that money back to the community, back to events that are out there that help the kids. So the way we look at the police department is like a like a stool with 3 legs, sorry. So we look at prevention, diversion, and arrest. Because everybody, when they look at the police department, they think arrest, arrest, arrest. Well, we know we can't arrest our way out of these problems, so we try to look at how we can prevent children from committing crimes and adults, and then how we can divert these kids and adults from crime. So what we're gonna now talk about really is the kids. So Megan's gonna talk about Forward Together, then I'm gonna talk about more about what we do that does not really any cost to it. Second slide. So later I'm going to talk about POPs, and again, that was by Councilmember Fig Sanders, that we went back to, remember when we were kids, we used to have Officer Friendly, and we got rid of that program, where POPs really brought that back to us. So we have our Officer Friendly program, and we use that a lot. We're going to talk about Bigs with badges, and then we're going to talk about Second Chance. So Ms. McGee, I'll turn it over to you for
Thank
Forward
you.
Together.
Thanks, everyone. We're happy to be here this morning. 2 tough acts to follow, so here I am. I do want to echo Mike's comment from earlier. In putting this together, we really had to, the scope just keeps getting bigger and bigger because there's so much that we do.
It's my fault. I'm sorry.
We have a lot to talk about. It's great. With the holidays coming, we didn't even include this on here. We shop with PAL. We have a large bike giveaway, and we have a partnership with Target where we shop for call families. So just, some additional things that we're doing, but specifically to break down a little bit more with the Forward Together program, as Chief indicated, this started as our Innovative Equity Project through community vote. It was envisioned as an 18-month project. However, I believe we will be able to extend it continuing into the current fiscal year. Provides wraparound services for justice-involved youth. We really wanted to look at a gap. What are the services that we didn't have for kids that had maybe committed a crime, maybe a retail theft, something like that, and if they had committed a secondary crime, there wasn't a program for that kind of in-between scenario. So that's what we looked to really put some energy into to avoid crimes escalating. So there's linkages, support, resources for the whole family, because that's another thing that we've learned. If a family is in crisis, there are multiple needs that they have, and if we can put some time and energy into alleviating some of those pressures, we're helping the whole family, and we're also being able to help younger siblings to avoid them having any type of criminal activity. The program is voluntary, so youth are going to still face any type of consequences through the criminal justice system. About 68% of the youth have not reoffended. That was a little bit higher. That was about 75, but we did have summer. So we did see a little bit of an escalation with the recidivation of the youth in the program, but we are certainly working to counteract that. At any given time, the youth coaches have about 100 clients that they are in different levels of engagement with based on their interest in the program. They may be refusing services initially, but then wishing to re-engage in services after that. And to go over our main project partners, we have Arts Conservatory for Teens. Also, as Mike indicated, Dr. Harris has a couple different programs that engage through the city with the program with us. He's doing sessions in Jordan Park. that emphasize everything from financial literacy to music, all types of different things that have been very beneficial. We have the partnership with CFY Pinellas. We really wanted to focus on alleviating barriers for youth that want to play sports. So we've seen some really good things come out of CFY Pinellas. I can probably talk about that all day. Our main program partner that is the core of the case management is Gulf Coast JFCS, and those are those mental health focused youth coaches that are working with all the individual families. So we have a newly added role of a peer advocate that works with the youth as well, that has some lived experience. That was something that Gulf Coast and us had talked about in detail, we wanted to look into. And then, of course, our partner Police Athletic League, they are doing after school and summer tutoring. I can brag on them a little bit. On their first grading period, they had 75% of the youth that they have been working closely with, A's, B's, couple C's, but again, 75% showing improvement in their first grading period. And those that did not fall into that category, they're able to put additional services to continue to work with those kids and get those grades up. We have not finalized it, but I can happily announce we will be adding another partner for our Forward Together partners, Suncoast Voices for Children. We wanted to really partner with the organization that works with foster kids, but also kids that may have delinquency and dependency concerns, that we can be able to provide needed items and also make sure there's no financial barriers for them being able to participate in positive activities. All right, and then community assistance and life liaison. I included the call program, even though they serve all ages. 20% of call's clients are youth. And then if you think of the remainder, many are families. So they're coming in and serving that whole family and trying to alleviate any type of concerns and connect with services. Our calls that are specific to youth are disorderly juvenile. We do have some that, and truancy, and then we have some that fall certainly into mental health concerns. Gulf Coast, in addition to the staff that we pay for in our contract with them, they also have a full-time youth engagement specialist that is funded by the NFL grant, the NFL Inspired Change grant. So that's been very exciting for us. All right, and then Chief, I think you wanted to hop on pop.
And then the part about that we really can't show a cost for, but really the officers give their time to is POPs, and that's where the officers again go out and they work with the preschool teams, because we have to start, when they're young. Let them know that they shouldn't run away from the badge, they should run to the badge, and they need to see the positive side of it. So that's what our POP program covers. Next slide, please. Bigs with Badges. We started this program several years ago. Assistant Chief Cavassa really is in charge of this program. And what this does, instead of us going to the schools, we have the kids come to the police department, and they spend time walking around the police department, seeing what the officers do each and every day. We have lunch with them. So really, that's our feeder program. We're trying to get these kids involved in not just anything they want to do with police department. So we get them to come here, and the officers mentor them. It is police, sometimes we have work to do, so they're big, maybe busy doing something or involved in a case, but then someone else in the station will step up and then take that child for the day. So that way, we're always making sure that that child, when he or she comes to the police department, that someone's going to be able to mentor them throughout the day.
And I can say we indicated we'll be launching program at JHOP, but since we've created this slide deck, I can say we have launched the program at JHOP. So we have about 27 students that are very interested in being partners. Okay. So we're very excited about that as well.
Also, friendly program, we use our CSOs to make sure we still go out to the schools to meet with the young kids at a certain age, grade school age, so we can continue that partnership. What I can add on also to this is that, I think that's the last one. Our Second Chance program, this program is being looked at throughout the nation, because a lot of police departments are looking at how we're doing it. And basically, just to refresh counsel, is that when a child commits a crime, say they get arrested today for shoplifting, thanks to Parks and Recs and our other divisions that we work with, that child, he or she does not get a criminal record. They go right to counseling to see how we can turn their lives around, and they do not get a charge. So later on down in life, if they have to apply for going to the military or any of, they can.
Excuse me, thank you.
They can say they've never been arrested, which is a true statement. And right now, 75% of the kids that are going through the Second Chance program have not reoffended. What Megan did not tell you about is she has been on a circuit with the CALL program and with Ford together. She has gone to DC, she's gone through several places. I've actually gone to Canada and other places to talk about what we're doing here in St. Petersburg, because the other cities and other states want to see exactly how we're doing that. And just like Mike said, it's because of the mayor and the city council, because the other police chief want to know the same thing. How are you folks doing this, and how are you making this work? Because we can't solve it all, and it takes a city to make this happen. So with that, I have any questions, answer any questions.
Committee members. Vice Chair Givens.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chair. Chief, I do want to ask about the Bigs with Badges. Is that just currently at Gibbs? And I understand it's going to be starting at Johns Hopkins, but just those two schools?
Yes, because when we first started out, when we were working with the organization, that was the first school that came toward us, Gibbs, and now we're trying to expand that. The more kids we get, like I said, it's better for us instead of trying to go to school, because trying to pull the kids out of class. The bus brings the kids to the school and they stay with us all day. We feed lunch, we had a great interaction, and then they go back to school.
Well, I would love to see that at a couple other schools. So if I went to Great American Teaching yesterday, and I was at a high school, and a couple of students approached me about becoming a police officer or actually a firefighter. And I wanted to know how I could connect them. Obviously, our cadet programs, but I definitely think if, maybe we could do a pop-up at one of those schools one day just to try it out, to see how it works, see what the engagement is like with some of those high schoolers. Like to see how successful that could be.
We can definitely look at it for the next school year, how we can make that happen.
Awesome. And then lastly, thank you so much, Megan. I was happy to hear that you have included Suncoast Voices. You're working with them for it together. If I can make mention of Care Portal, that's another organization that's focused on providing services that'll break down barriers that exist to poverty. If we can really work with them, I know they really try to help kids with paying registration fees for sports and that types of thing, also paying for mattresses for those kids who are bed insecure. So just a recommendation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Fix Sanders.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Chair. Chief and Megan, thank you. I am always a supporter and advocate for our youth, but of course, I had to smile when you talked about the POPS program. So every single time that you talk about that, I am going to smile, because I received no pushback from you, but I appreciate how you helped initiate that program. But more importantly, a lot of times the impact that some of these programs make, we would never see. We don't know the difference or how calming it was for the parent that also had anxiety about interactions with law enforcement, that also gained confidence and a better perspective of the men and women in uniform. So although, sometimes programs seem smaller, it's not about the numbers to me, it's about the quality. And this has been one that has had super quality. You talk about two schools, but one school has like 7 officers itself, so I love the fact that we kept that going, because the world that we're in now, we're having to start younger and younger. And unfortunately, we're still having to do external things to help parent, with do's and don'ts and common sense. And so again, I do appreciate you for embracing that program and the other programs that you actually have that are really targeting our youth. So again, I'm gonna say thank you every time I see you for the POPS program, because it is so critical that even our babies, it's a shame that we're having to start with 2 and 3 year olds, but it is what it is, and we want to continue to be that source for our young people when it comes down to making wise decisions. So again, I just wanted to thank you again for that, and thank you, Megan, for everything you're doing. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Hargan.
Thank you, Chair. Chief, thank you very much to you and the assistant chiefs. It is the industry itself has changed over the years, and it takes the leadership of you and your team, and offering the leadership and chances to folks on our team like Megan to look at this more holistically and recognize that cleaning up on the back end and doing the traditional policing part of this industry, which is always going to be necessary, is much easier when you're involved in the preempting and the teaching, the coaching, and the training in the beginning. The foresight is awesome. The willingness to change the kind of the core competency of the department is recognized, and even more to the point that you're willing to go out and allow our folks to go out and spread this throughout the country. This is an awesome direction. Thank you very much, and you'll find I think you'll find our support for your next big, hairy, audacious idea. Thank you very much. Thank you.
BHAG.
Right?
I use it often. Thank you for the presentation. This is super helpful. Just quickly, because I know we're running against time. We had a great update from Pops, I think last month or the month before. It's just such a great. I'll echo everything that Councilmember Fig Sanders has said. Love the bigs with badges. Love the idea of getting them into the department, and rather than the opposite, right? Like, let them see what we're doing. I just think that's phenomenal. And then last but not least, I know I touched on it earlier, but I'm just a massive fan of PAL and what they do, and our involvement with that, your involvement with that. And, you know, I think I spent 7 years on the board, and from 3 to 18, it's just a massive deal, whether it's a summer camp or an after school or a learning program or an open gym. It's just the full gamut. And to be able to play dodgeball with an officer is a big deal, right? Like, all of a sudden, they're no longer an officer. They're just somebody having fun, and they're playing, and it just makes a massive difference, and you can see it in their faces. And so I'm very thankful for our partnership with PAL, and Chief, your continued investment into PAL, along with our officers and all of our partners there. So just very, very, very thankful, and didn't want to go without saying it. Megan, thanks for all of your work throughout all of this as well. Okay. All right, we're going to go to Chief Watts, and we're going to try to run through Chief Watts, and then because there are committees right behind us, we're going to pause, and then we'll come back and finish the rest at a future YFS meeting. So I'm going to apologize, because I think Amy's at the back end of this. So Amy, George and Amy, I think. So and James. So we've got 3. So I don't feel as bad just siphoning one person off. And so we're going to go to Chief Watts, and then we're going to come back at the YFS and do the second half of this, because I want to be respectful of the committees following. So I'm going to turn it over to Chief Watts. Welcome.
Hello and good morning. I am Fire Rescue Chief Keith Watts. I'm here today with Lana Stevanovich, who
Welcome, Lana.
is our training coordinator for the department and part of my special projects team. While many know St. Petersburg Fire Rescue for our exceptional emergency response, our commitment to the community extends far beyond the fire ground and emergency scenes. Our youth programs foster crucial life skills like teamwork, leadership, discipline, and community responsibility. The success stories are many, and the return on investment is immeasurable. So here we see a couple of 3 of our funded programs, which we'll go into details here shortly. But we have 3 funded programs: Camp Ignite, our Explore program, and a high school recruiting initiative. Go ahead. And I'll turn it over to Lana, who will go over our youth programs and staff time.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you everyone for having us. And I just want to recognize Chief Holloway, Megan, and Rick and Mike for all your outstanding work. We partner with both departments often, and it's just so enlightening to hear what everyone is doing for the community, especially focusing on our youth. For our department, we go out to all the schools in the community where we teach fire safety and injury risk reduction. So you'll see us often, our fire trucks, not just responding to our fire and EMS calls, but we believe in prevention is key. Some of our there's so many, like everyone else said, just to put it in just a couple for time sensitivity. Here are a few that we want to highlight. We go to Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital twice a year. This is both on-duty and off-duty firefighters. So our firefighters, even off-duty, they're committed to our community and making sure that we're out there showing our faces and making sure that we're touching the lives of our youth. So oftentimes we have to respond to these brave children on their hardest days and their families, but we want to make sure that we see them on good days as well to let them know what we're thinking about them, and then also providing all the education that we're giving to the community in schools, bringing it to them, because unfortunately they're not in the schools at the time, so we want to make sure we're visiting them and bringing them the safety information as well. Our annual Shop with the Firefighter, this is going to be our 6th one that's scheduled in December. We're able to partner with foster children in our community through group homes and then also Family Resources, Pinellas Suncoast. And we're actually able to partner a firefighter and a child to have a great shopping experience. They receive a $100 gift card and they get to shop for themselves, and many times, which is, it's really touching, is they want to buy things for their foster mom, foster families. So they have their gift cards and they get to buy themselves something, but they're also sharing what they have with others as well. So it's just as a magical experience for them as it is for all of us. So that's a great one. We're excited. We're actually upping our numbers to 40 kids this year. And this is in partnership with our IFF Local 747 and then money raised through our haunted house every single year. And to follow up on that as well, we have our annual toy drive. Annually, we help over 600 children, and these children are right here in our city. And we partner with City of St. Petersburg Parks and Recs, and then all elementary and middle school liaisons. So we reach out to them and we say, give us 3 to 4 families this year. Thankfully for funding, it's up to 5 families that they're actually able to give us that know are struggling this year or have had some in need of some kind. So we're really excited. We've already started shopping for that. And then also we take care of all the fire families we've had this year. So we keep track of it through an Excel spreadsheet and we keep in contact with them, because even if they had a fire in January, they're still affected by it come this time of year. We provide them with Thanksgiving dinners, holiday dinners, and then all the kids are, we take care of them for the holidays. So we actually take Santa on a fire truck and we'll be delivering toys to them on December 20th. With that being said, our annual firefighter and lifeguard car wash, we partner with our great Parks and Rec departments. This year we're hosting our 6th annual firefighter and lifeguard car wash at Northwest Pool. And we came up with this idea many years ago. We knew that there was a need for kids to receive swim lessons. Drowning is the leading cause of death for children ages 0 to 4. So we wanted to make sure we made an impact. So together, lifeguards and our firefighters, we've raised over $10,000 to date, which is over 750 swim lessons. So we're really excited about that. Also with drownings, we've given out just alone this year over 1,200 life jackets. So we're really excited to share that information as well.
So I'll talk briefly about Camp Ignite. Camp Ignite was a pilot program which was launched in 2024. We just completed earlier this year our 2nd Camp Ignite with plans to have a 3rd one next year. And this one was in partnership with Pinellas County Urban League and IAF Local 747. We also this year partnered with Parks and Rec. So they provided the children for us. I believe there were about 20 kids this time. I can't remember what the ages were, but it's a 3-day program for the young ladies to come in and experience over the 3 days the life of a firefighter. And this was an empowerment type of initiative where we wanted to empower them. We wanted to let them see what the life of a firefighter was like. And they were taught by our own firefighters. And again, it was a 3-day experience for them with a graduation. And we deem it successful. And we're starting to measure how successful our programs are. One of the feedbacks that we got from the program was that we were asked to do a 2nd one. So we're not quite there yet, but we're looking at providing a 2nd Camp Ignite or providing 2 per year.
Okay, our Fire Explore program. This program has actually been around for nearly 40 years, and unfortunately, when the pandemic hit, it did stop in 2020. We're really excited to bring back our Explore program in 2026. This program is focused on teens ages 14 to 18 to give them firsthand experience on fire and EMS careers. We've actually had many of our current fire personnel, they were explorers themselves, many fire officers as well, including our very own Rescue Division Chief, Lindsay Judah. So this will, again, we're really excited for 2026. We're going to bring it back. The teens will meet twice a month at one of our local fire stations. And they'll have great hands-on experience, including becoming CPR certified, getting to use the tools such as Jaws of Life, doing ride-alongs. So we're looking forward to 2026.
So the two young ladies you see were part of Gibbs High School program where they entered an EMT program. They did dual educational processes. So they got their regular high school education while also being enrolled into the EMT program. They graduated basically as EMTs. They were enrolled into our cadet hiring process, and now they have 3 to 4 years of experience on the department and are doing extremely well. That program, by the way, is a collaboration between Pinellas County School Systems and the City of St. Petersburg. And lastly, we have our junior and high school recruitment initiative. This was an initiative over the past year that has seen an amount of success, and where we go into high schools and junior high schools, we take our recruiters and we meet them where they're at. This is part of getting outside of the four walls of the fire station and, just kind of interacting with them. We also do ride-alongs where their parents can sign waivers depending on their age, and they can come and ride with the department, get that experience, get the feedbacks, and then make a determination whether or not they want to proceed in this career. And that's really all I have, unless anybody
Okay.
has any questions.
Committee members, any questions? And just
Congratulations.
please be aware of time, and I know that's my fault, not yours. Vice Chair Givens.
Thank you. Just one question. Thank you, Chair. And thank you so much, Chief and Lana. I appreciate you both being here. Can we talk for a moment about Camp Ignite? I know you said you hope for a second program. Are we deciding that now? Do you know when that decision will be made?
We are looking at probably by the end of the year. The problem with the camp is it's a 3-day, so we have to get the kids when they're out of school during the summer, but we're looking at some other options, maybe during the holidays when we know that they're out of school and we can have it for 3 days. We're also looking at possibly extending it because that's also been a request.
I just want to recommend that you all consider visiting PACE Center for Girls. They have a great program there, awesome young ladies within that age group who I certainly think could benefit. So just a recommendation. Thank you all for all your hard work and all that you're doing. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Fix-Sanders.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for the presentation. Hi, Lana. I've been a big fan of Camp Ignite and truly do want to support whatever it can to extend that program. But I just wanted to say, I looked at your junior high school recruitment slide, and I was in a selfie with one of your recruitments yesterday at Great American Teachers. So he made my selfie list, right? So I just want to let you know that they're out, they're engaged, and he was wearing that uniform well. And he was really, really mannerable. Very good material that you're actually recruiting that I saw. If he's the one example that you have, you're doing a fantastic job. Fantastic job.
Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Harding.
Chief, just a real quick congratulations for getting outside the comfort zone of a fire department, for getting to your point, or to your quote, outside the four walls of the fire department. What a very phenomenal position. I mean, you can, as you alluded to, you can already see the benefits to the fire department and engaging folks are engaging youth early and getting them involved. And albeit that it's not the purpose of the program to benefit the fire department, it does in the end, and that's okay. But thank you for engaging this part of the population that is not traditional in the mandate of a fire department. Admirable, progressive, Chief, and thank you for bringing that. And we look forward to helping you grow these programs. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'm going to praise on Lana. Anytime I go somewhere where there's kids or youth or community involved, I see Lana. And so I think there are 3 of her because I'm not sure how she's at everything. And so I'm so appreciative of you and thanks for all the work that you do. And love seeing you out in the community and your smile, and just very thankful for all the work that you're doing. And Chief, thanks for continuing. I would echo everything Councilmember Harding said. Thanks for continuing to think outside of the 4 walls of the firehouse, and looking forward to seeing our fire rescue across the city for all of these community events. And thanks for everything you're doing with our youth. It's very appreciated. Okay, we're going to pause there. I apologize for going over time. So we'll bring this back into the first meeting into 2026. Just from my perspective, committee members, thank you for your engagement this year. I really enjoyed the topics we continue to talk about in YFS this year, and so just very thankful for all of you, and looking forward to continuing this conversation in 2026. To all the staff, thank you for being here. If we didn't get to you, it's on me, and I'll wear that for the rest of 2025. So thank you for all of that you're doing, and looking forward to continuing this conversation in Q1 of 2026. If there's nothing else for the good of the order, YFS on November 13th is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. All right. So